can be found in any number of places. Scientists will tell you that it comes in newtons. Gamers will say that it can be found in silky skills. We will say that the power lies in real thrills. In the play with perfect ping. In the runes and crystals. In every frag and gank. In your personal winnings. Lock and load for PGL Arlington.
We are back with our last game of the night here. It's going to be Team Aster taking on Team Spirit to outround day 2 of the PGL Arlington Major. Dano, game 1 was crazy. Not just game 1 as well. This is back-to-back games for us where we have seen some crazy comebacks. So I have no idea what is in store for us for this last game.
On the edge of our seat, that is for sure. And yep, I would agree with what we're seeing down there because it is pretty damn even. If Aster are able to close it out early on, then I feel like they might have the edge, but we just saw how good Team Spirit are once it reaches the late game. So maybe that's going to be the little bit of a change-up that happens in the draft. Of course, TB, great hero. Monet played a great first 40 or so minutes, but beyond that, there was a little bit of uncertainty that came through with some of his item choices. I think he might have had some
Team Spirit's turn to ban.
only really start to threaten that high ground around the metamorphosis timing.
We do see this time, it's going to be Team Spirit actually with first pick.
10 seconds remaining.
Aster. Or, no, sorry, apologies. It was Team Spirit that
They
had
got the
first
time.
pick. So once again, they will be on first pick. So I don't think they're going to
Team
go down a
Aster's
different
turn
route
to
of
ban.
not going the
Team
tiny,
Spirit's
especially with how
turn
much
to
Team
ban.
Aster favor it. I mean, Mirror, he played it twice through 2 or 3, and Toronto Tokyo played it a couple times as well. So I'd like them to go back into it just because I think this hero overall
Team
just
Aster's
Aster
turn
really
to ban.
thrive on it.
Team Spirit's turn to
Getting
pick.
into the Enigma. I wonder if that means that they're not going to pick the Tiny. Maybe Razoring themselves? I wouldn't hate to see something like that.
That's a good point, because if you go tiny, maybe
Team
it leaves like the
Aster's
Razor
turn
Marcy
to pick.
combo, or like Razor Wyvern, I was going to say, but...
Team Aster's turn.
I would Wyvern if I'm Aster. Tiny Wyvern.
Team Spirit's turn to pick.
Dazzle.
Dazzle.
Okay. So we'll see if Spirit now have priority on the Wyvern, if they feel like this is valuable enough, because it is at the 8th pick. Often we see cores here where you look to protect it now with the second phase of bans.
I'd Marcy if I'm Spirit. I think it's something that's
seconds
going
remaining.
to work well together with either Collapse or Yatoro, whoever ends up playing this
5
Razor.
seconds
I'm
remaining.
just really into the fact that you can, get in onto the back lines, have something that's
Team
going to
Spirit's
immediately find that
turn to
lockdown
ban.
for the Dazzle, and able to burst. I just go the Wyvern instead. It's fine, right? But it's like there's nothing right now that it's countering.
But come on, Daniel, you're supposed to be an advocate for the Wyvern. You can't just be telling me that you're only
I
going to pick
keep
it for
telling
a
you,
counter.
man. I can't talk it up too
10
much.
seconds
It's gonna
well,
nerf it.
it's not, dude. It's happening. I don't know what else you want me to say.
5 seconds remaining.
Buffs across the board when 7.32 comes out,
Team
and I'm
Aster's
gonna
turn
love it.
to ban.
He's the 5th most picked so far. He has a 56% win rate on 16 games. That was at the start of the day, so keep in mind.
Team
But
spirits
yeah,
turn
no,
to
sorry,
ban.
my guy. You can't downplay him. Something's gonna happen to him, and I have to imagine it's gonna be a nerf.
But what do you nerf though? Everything's so
Uh,
lovable about the hero.
sure. I understand. You love the hero. You don't want to see it nerfed, and well, Team Spirit,
10
they feel the same
seconds
as well.
remaining.
They're putting some importance on it in the 8th pick, so it does give
Can I
them...
tell
5
you,
seconds
Yes,
there
remaining.
is one thing I don't love about the hero. Look at
Alright.
Wyvern right now. Is there anything that seems off about that?
Smaller than the Razor. He's kind of hovering.
It's about the hovering. What's happening with the hovering?
His tail's hitting the ground. There's a couple
How
of
do
things-
wings work?
What do you mean, how do wings work? You go up and down. Flap, flap, flap.
When you flap down, you push yourself up.
Okay,
And that is the
sure.
case of every single other hero in this game except for Wyvern. Wyvern's the only one that does this weird thing. When the wings go down, so does she. So
Okay.
I don't know what's going
yes,
on with
I
that.
see what you mean. Okay, yes. I'm like, really? You expect him to like fly through the draft? But no, I know. I'm like, all right.
Team Aster.
We got a Batrider cosmetic that does it. We got a sniper cosmetic that does it with the fly in. Nothing wrong with that.
So look at that. Some respect as well. No more things going to be picked up this game, and also the Zeus. I am really surprised Zeus is not getting picked as much. From the games we've seen, we've casted barely any Zeus so far.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel like you can feel pretty confident to pick it up as long as the
5
puck
seconds
is out of the
remaining.
game. Puck is the main concern for mine. Like, it doesn't really provide any of that lockdown or burst or anything like that you need. Puck's going to be able to avoid a lot of it, and then the silence and the dream coil is a really good tool to be able to deal with it. So maybe just thinking that because Aster have the first pick coming out of this phase, coming into this phase, they wanted to make sure it was removed, just because it feels like a very viable option, even just against the Razor, right? Heavenly jump up some sort of terrain, get away from, not that Razor's going to be static linking you, but you know what I mean.
I think for Aster, again, more than like, well, Dazzle, it's going to be your 5, and really Aster like to give the Tiny over to Baboka. So
Team Aster's
I feel like
turn
now
to
you can put a
ban.
lot of emphasis on Spirit,
Team
on banning out
Aster's
cores, and that's
turn to
exactly
pick.
what they've done with the Zeus Morphling and the Faceless Void band out. And I'm just
Like the
intrigued.
Marcy band, though. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm intrigued to see what role they want to go down here on Aster, because you have to show a core here at the 15th.
Yeah,
10
I'm a
seconds
little.
remaining.
I feel like this Tiny might be mid. Like I know the puck isn't
5
going to come into
seconds
the pool,
remaining.
but I feel like just considering what heroes Ori has been playing lately, like a lot of them have been banned out. There's no puck, there's no Zeus, there's no Razor available. It's not a great Pango game because you're having to worry about a Razor plus a Winter Wyvern. TA, not the greatest either this time around. Very physical damage oriented against a Wyvern who also has the Arctic Burn. And I don't think you want to pudge into this. So, yeah, I really feel like maybe it might be the Tiny mid here. And perhaps some of these other bands are just trying to give a little bit more time or prevent some of that turnaround tempo that you might need for Team Aster.
Ori has played one game so far on the Tiny. They lost that game, so they have.
It's just one game.
Yeah, without a doubt. And really, the main reason why I was looking is because he didn't play it into a 3, and I just wanted to see if it was a comfort thing, if they just really prefer the Tiny as a 4, if they have this thought process that they prefer it on that instead of a different role. Every position 2 would love to play the Tiny. I have no doubt he does not have the potential to play it, but it's just some teams think it's stronger in different roles. You have this beautiful thing about regions where some regions prefer one hero over others, or certain
Team
item builds and
spirits
etc.
turn to pick.
Storm Spirit.
Jesus, what is this hero? What's going on?
Maybe just thinking, okay, well, Zeus is gone, so that's fine. Puck is gone, so it's fine. You could Batrider, but then
10
Storm still has a
seconds
decent
remaining.
time. I'm just thinking they need something else that's going to be able to get onto this Dazzle.
5 seconds remaining.
Doesn't really feel like a good Spectre game so far. Storm's just going to be able to zip around, spec Wyvern, terrible lane. The thing I'm worried about now is that Aster could potentially go into something like a Bristleback. and just use the tiny and the tiny and the storm spirit to create a ton of tempo to allow him to get that farm. Also, just having a strong lane with the dazzle,
Team
because you don't really
Spirit's
care
turn
too
to
much
pick.
about the
Timber
static
Spirit.
link as that bristle. Okay, Toronto Tokyo special.
It is something though that didn't have a lot of success at Riyadh, though, right? The Ember.
It won one game against the Saudi Arabian team, and every other game it lost. I think it was like 9 games.
10
But
seconds
it's had a
remaining.
lot better success at this tournament. I'm seeing Yopaj styling on it. I'm seeing
5 seconds
Somnus play
remaining.
some really great games. This is, in my opinion, one of Toronto Tokyo's best heroes from his TI-10 win. So, yeah, if he feels like it's a good game, I'm going to believe him.
See what they're gonna
They're
look
still
for.
kind of lacking in
Aster's turn
stuns,
to
though,
pick.
aren't they?
Skywrath Mage.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like this a lot. I really thought we were going to see a lot more Sky just as an answer to the puck. This is something that Eastern Europe really like, and it's a pretty goddamn strong laner as well. So we've got some pretty good combos with being able to combine up with the
10
Ember Spirit.
seconds
Chance,
remaining.
the
Turn
Mystic
to
Flare is
ban.
really nice. But we get also the Aster staple in the Spectre.
Hey, I mean, you really want to make sure that you can get on Tyrath Mage as quickly as possible, that's for sure. Just
It is a
thinking
great
here, like,
pick.
it's a good pick, in my
10
opinion. Like,
seconds
the global presence is good, but, like, I feel like Wyvern's just going to get
5
away from you
seconds
most of the time.
remaining.
Yeah, the Desolate goes through the Cold Embrace, but you're not really going to do much against the Razor if you reality in onto
Team
him. He's just going to
Aster's
start the
turn
static
to
link.
ban.
And, even just things like... I feel like they've got the damage to be able to deal with this Spectre, is essentially what I'm saying. And even the laning stage isn't going to go super well for it, assuming this is like
Team Spirit's
a
turn to
collapse
ban.
Razor instead of a Yatoro one.
Okay, so the big reason why I think the Spectre is an incredible pick, because I think it enables the Storm Spirit heavily to jump the Sky and the Wyvern. You get that vision with the Horn. Storm's going to be able to see the supports. He jumps instantly, blows a couple of them up, and all of a sudden the fight looks incredibly
10
free.
seconds
Tiny can get a
remaining.
jump as well. It's also going to protect the Dazzle, is very position-based.
5
And Team
seconds
Spirit,
remaining.
they do not really have anything to group themselves up with. Like, when you're against a Spectre, it's nice to be able to have some kind of structure where you can just beeline to and have some control in a fight. Undying Tombstone is a really good example. Mars Arena is another good example as well. So it's very difficult now, because when Horn's out, these supports, you've got no one to play with. And the
Team
Ember Spirit's not
Aster's
really a hero
turn
that can
to
protect
ban.
you as well.
So what are you... I'm just going to use your words against you, though.
Sure.
This Storm Spirit, yes, you're enabled a little bit by the Spectre, but where's your steroid? Where's your Pugna? Where's your Coddle? Where's your Io that's going to allow you to
10
actually stay out
seconds
on the map?
remaining.
That's my main concern, that Ori's just not going to have that same level of impact.
5
And you're into a
seconds
Skywrath
remaining.
Mage.
Turn
So,
to pick.
I love that Night Stalker ban, actually. That would have been an excellent pick coming through from Team Spirit, just to be able to find out that Dazzle, to punish the Storm Spirit, to force an earlier BKB that I'm sure he would have been wanting. So what now can they look to pair together with this?
10 seconds
A lot of the break
remaining.
mechanics are gone as well.
5 seconds remaining.
Do you
Thank
switch up the
you.
Razor into
Yeah,
the safe lane now?
Team Aster's turn to
I think
pick.
that's
Warlord.
that's actually not the route I was expecting them to go down here on Spirit. Okay. So we're going to be
They're
looking
pretty
at...
much the only team to pick this hero with any kind of success. There are other teams that pick it, but they don't win with it. So maybe just wanting something that, again, like
10 seconds
you've got the
remaining.
curse to be able to like find the Storm Spirit and start to lock him down, right? So
5
if you can
seconds
get the battle
remaining.
trance onto him, start attacking, same sort of stuff with like a single route suddenly enables the Mystic Flare quite heavily. And maybe just the factor of, well, we don't have last pick, we don't know what we're going to be laning into,
Yes.
so we got to pick
Yes,
something
yes.
that's just good at laning against everyone.
I think that's really the big reason why you go this Troll. Like, Troll Wyvern, that you are not beating that lane. Like, maybe you're looking for a ranged off-laner.
Choose your
I was going to
hero.
mention the Venno, which can lean okay into the Troll. Could have some difficulties later on with BKBs, but we're going to get a Visage picked up from Team Aster, which... you at least have a melee hero to kind of pop in front of you for the moment, but...
They did need some push. That's the thing, right?
that's a
Like,
good point.
Beastmaster was banned out. The lane's okay. It's nothing groundbreaking. Of course, Yatoro is one of those players that with his heroes likes to put a lot of harass onto the enemy offlaner in the lane, probably more so than a lot of others. But XXS is just going to be able to turn that around and throw the old soul assumptions back into his face. Also, not as easy to chase down with a Troll Warlord, considering you've got the Grave Chill. I suppose the Wyvern has some good amount of slows to make that a little bit more impactful, but yeah, I think they needed something that was going to be able to push. I believe DK was banned, Visage was banned, Beastmaster was banned, Lycan was also banned. So yeah, Visage seems like the go, and it's not something that's very cooldown reliant either. Like, potentially that shapeshift. You just always have the potential to be able to convert one of these global pickoffs from the Storm Spirit or the Spectre into an objective. So yeah, I quite like the pick.
Do you like it enough to give them the edge here in this game too, though?
I think if he's able to get out of the laning stage well enough, like this is one of those games where he needs the Aghanim Scepter, because you can't be getting focused down early on. You can't be the main target for something like the Ember Spirit to initiate the fight onto. You need to be the one using that invis from the Silent as the Grave to be able to get in onto the back lines, find that Wyvern, because in my opinion, that's what's going to enable you to start off these team fights very well. Finding the Winter Wyvern, bursting him down, even just finding the Skywrath Mage opens up Storm Spirit's game so much more.
I believe in the 1-8 Spectre. I think that they really, really value this hero in China, and especially Aster in particular. We've seen success on it so far through the major. My concern is that Ori could have a very difficult time into the Ember Sky throughout the mid game. I think they do have ways to be able to blow him up, so I'm going to be intrigued to see how Ori looks to itemize this game. But I like Aster's lineup to be able to go later. I really believe in this Spectre to be able to kind of carry them over, and if Ori has a decent amount of net worth, then he too will be able to have a lot of impact later on.
It's all going to be on the back of the lanes though. Mid lane pretty skill based. Both Spirit heroes not having the greatest time in recent history, but certainly it's top lane that I'm going to be looking at the most. Honestly, Spirit should be getting the better end of this laning phase. It's just a question of, can you hold off this Visage long enough before it starts to have that real impact, and even just a few of these team movements once the level 6, level 7s start to come out on Storm Spirit and Spectre.
Yeah, it definitely feels like both the side lanes Spirit have that advantage. I'm a little bit unsure about bottom though, just because maybe Radiant with their sustain, if they have the small camp open, they can just play with 1-8 CSing under tower.
Have you been able to... What just happened there? Was there a... I swear there was an Observer Ward or something. Or a Sentry Ward inside the Storm Spirit small camp, but it's gone now.
I don't know, you're seeing things.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, maybe I am seeing things. We have been up for a long time. It's 10 a.m. here. We've gone through the night. But anyway, game starts. I don't want to make a prediction. Last game was just so close.
No, what? That's not how this works. I made one. You got to make one. No, sir. Just make a prediction. What the hell?
I think chat's gonna have a good time.
Oh, you're actually so boring. My lord. Alright, we'll see. Top lane.
See what I have to deal with, chat?
Oh, shut up. Well, this is your power is level 1. It's
has been killed.
I was about to say a little bit of damage there, but Miposhka will hold them back. No way that toss into Soul Assumption might be enough, but Pro is able to step into the tree line. As long as they can offset this early kind of push from Aster, then they should be fine once they get to their levels.
I mean, I think level 2 for Aster is pretty damn strong too, though, right? Like, having that Grave Chill to enable the chase down, having the Avalanche Toss combination, that's really the key damage output that you've got early on. Let's see who's going to land theirs first. It looks like it's Team Spirit. Slightly on the better end of it, but of course, Poshka has to be very careful about leaving the lane for too long. They know he's out there. Trying to smash down one of these creeps as quickly as possible. Is that last creep going to be enough to bring them level 2? I think it might. They need to get through it fast enough, though. Yeah. That could have been the difference. I mean, just a couple of right clicks into that, and Yatoro probably dies.
He's taking a bunch of damage, and we're going to be able to find our first blood. Mirror secures it. Beautifully done in combination with Collapse. We saw just before that Mirror was forced to TP back to the tower with the pressure that Monet and PGL was putting on through the start of the mage, but he's able to reset and go back in to help get first blood.
He's even able to get a little bit of a pull off here. Baboka accidentally pulling the creep wave a little bit too far underneath the tower, but she's going to start pushing back in favor of Team Spirit. Absolutely not what you want. You want to make sure that you're making the most out of this level 2 timing that they've got on Aster. Seems like it's going to be the case.
Collapse might be in a bit of trouble if they can keep the poison touch stacks moving over to the Razor. He's going to be able to steal a decent amount of damage, however, over against the Spectre, so Monate's unable to continue pumping in the damage. So it's just going to be a trade of right clicks.
When you think of a Dazzle, though, you don't think of, okay, what carry is really going to enable that slow to convert into kills. It's not a Spectre, you know. Spectre is the definition of passive early game.
Mid lane for Ori is having quite a good time versus Toronto Tokyo, and this is a matchup that is like, I'd say like 55-45 now. Maybe some people would argue was like 60-40 a while ago, but with the water runes, the Ember can really just out-sustain. I think maybe when it gets a bit difficult is if there's support rotations to help take away the runes, but you see Toronto Tokyo, he can even push back sometimes. Like Ori, the chains are up and Toronto Tokyo has gone for an early level. See the damage that he can dish out.
Top side.
Ori's in trouble. The stick charge is not enough to keep him alive. His XXS, a second point into the Soul Assumption, is enough to offer the burst.
A lot of the time you see people put like 2 points Grave Chill and just leave that Soul Assumption at 1, but clearly realizing, like I said, Yatoro, one of these heroes that, players that likes to be really aggressive with his laning style, constantly using the harass, the strengths of the Troll Warlord, and XXS realizing that the player he's up against, not just the hero, and then turning it right back around at him.
A little bit of trouble if
XXS is as well up top.
And meanwhile, mid lane as well. We got kills across the board. XXS, can he get back onto the safety of the tower? He's going to be okay, and that is gigantic for Aster. They get a kill onto the Ember Spirit, and meanwhile, bottom lane as well. The action continues as Collapse. He's going to be able to deal with the support of the Dazzle, but Monet, he can turn this one back around now. And a free experience and solo goal given over the Spectre. Monet, he's loving life.
I love that. The dispersion doing a little bit of damage as he walked underneath the tower. But yeah, good start coming through for Monet. Like you were saying, it is a specialty of his. And it feels like Miposhka just needs to be playing a whole lot more defensively, keeping the lane pushed back towards him, and stopping the poke and prod onto the Visage, because XXS has gotten out of this laning stage relatively unscathed. That's huge for Aster.
Just looking to see what they're going to try and do with Ori now. Love to see his rotation start to be something they're considering, because he does have this level 6 to work with, so way to really help out with that is going to be that power rune.
Radiant's bottom tower
Is he going to come contest this, or does he feel like he needs to play the lane with the Spectre? The towers, so the creeps are under the tower, so Monet might be okay.
Bobaka's the one moving. I mean, he's going to be able to secure not only the power room, but also the bounty for his team. Scouting out if there's any stacks that are starting to be built up for either the Troll Warlord, who we know is going for the Battle Fury, or it's going to be... Well, it ends up being bot anyway on that power rune, so Bobaka could go back, circle back, pick up the bounty for himself, and really feels like Ori has that time to be able to turn around and perhaps make a play up towards this top side once Tiny reconnects them.
We're going to have to be... Ori needs to shove the lane.
So he can. Now he can move.
Not worried about your tower taking too much damage. Or he could also just consider about his own farm. But the minute mark coming up shortly if he wants to go make a stack to be hard can. Let's deal with the small instead and instead of going back to the lane. But overall, I really was not expecting Aster to at least come out of the lanes like they are at the moment.
Yeah, and maybe he's just delaying his movement until XXS hits up onto that level 6, so it's not just a movement to be able to kill a core, you know, and slow him down in that way. Also just to free up a little bit more space on the map.
Mr. Gernad, I think 1-8's going Midas. I think. I don't know what else this Glover Haze is going to be for.
No, I hope not.
Oh, what, you want to armlet Spectre?
Yeah, let's do
Casual
it.
Glove? I don't know.
I mean, we saw Hector performing earlier today, and he was one of the real innovators behind just the casual glove.
Yep, there
Nice
we
with
go.
that.
Minus queued up.
I've been wanting this.
Here
Go
we go.
give him topside.
The rotation coming out with the arcane rune toss back and the damage. Utoro, he's not going to be long for this world. The cold embrace is only going to annoy Aster that much more to want to try and
There's that
find a
level 6.
secondary kill. And Ori's going to go for it. Maposhka, there's nothing he can do. No Arctic burn to be able to fly in the tree line. And this is the importance of securing power. And Ori with the arcane gets a double kill. That's with XXS having the familiars as well. So now this tower, I don't know if they can come back to this lane now.
I don't think they can either. It puts a little bit more importance on them trying to secure this bottom side of the map. You don't have a ton of mana left on the Storm Spirit, and he did use his TP to be able to get up there, so it's a bit of a benefit if Control Forward wants to rotate down towards the bottom side. He scouts out, sees that he's got a couple of stacks inside the triangle, but he's nowhere close to being able to take it just yet.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yep. Aster just going from good to better with this start. Ori really looking to play that diving frontline role. He did it a little bit with a pudge, but it was at the hindrance of his scaling. I don't think that's going to be the case this time around.
Oh, no, without a doubt. Look how much farming he's getting. And now being able to free up top means Baboka can start to think about connecting to bottom. His collapse is going to be in some trouble here. The tower is not going to be enough of a deterrent here. This Team Spirit, they're going to lose another core, and they've got big issues right now. And it's a lineup that... The Razor is a bit more of a greedy off-lane in the aspect where you're not really the playmaker. You kind of want this BKB, but you're a hero that thrives in the lane, and if you're unable to come on top there, then all your map control is just on the back of Toronto Tokyo to make the space.
Never refuse gold given.
They're even getting to a state where you might be able to start invading into the enemy triangle if you take another tower, maybe around that 10-minute mark. I could certainly see XXS maybe make a patrol through the jungle, see if there's any camps stacked up, and then look to come alongside with the siege creep at the 10-minute mark, just to try and take that away, open up possibilities for Ori to use those static remnants to clear out a lot of this farm acceleration that Toronto Tokyo is going to be looking to use. Might be trying to get one more stack. No. I think he wants to take it now. He understands that this might be his last chance to be able to. Oh, and sometimes you just get lucky. DD on the top side of the map for Ori. Having a great start.
See if they look to make the call. The catapult wave is coming out for Aster on both sides.
Damage.
See if they're going to consider about bringing down this tower. Zip in. And they're going to have the damage to the control.
Oh, he
Slide just into the remnant away, or he's going to continue to chase. He doesn't have too much mana. Collapse is waiting in anticipation. But a big juicy kill for Collapse to be able to find.
Short on the Mystic Flare mana, unfortunately, from Mira. Toss back.
Kill.
He's got 1 point into the Desolate. Oh, and the body blocks from Baboka. Nicely done. 2 kills that happened that probably shouldn't have. Just if you had the a little bit better on the mechanical skills coming through there from Ori. A little bit surprising considering he is the Grandmaster on the Storm Spirit, but it wasn't perfectly layered together onto the Ember to be able to secure that kill. Very happy with all these kills going Baboka's way though. Oh, look at that, using the fountain regen.
Oh, look at... Oh, no. You gotta finish your food and... Or is able to do so. They have the catapult still as well. I wonder if XXS is going to consider about rotating over the mid, but working on the Wraith Pact, he wants to continue up with his farm.
It really does feel like, kind of like the Vengeful Spirit off lane in the Ags build. No, he's not. He wants to make sure that they absolutely secure this. Even just the Vladzora is going to do a world of good as I don't know if you could do that, my guy.
It kind of feels like they haven't played against a Storm in quite some time. A Storm that's had a good lane. Ori's 4-1 and 2. He's got plenty to be able to work with. Kaya coming out on the Courier, I believe. Soaring as well. Fairy's Trinket. Like, this is a Storm Spirit that you've got some big issues with being able to deal with him and how he can control the map now.
Dire's
This
middle
is probably going to be
tower
one of
is
the
under
earliest
attack.
pos 4 Blink Daggers that we've seen in quite some time. 4, 0, and 3 on Baboka, and it's not naked either. He's got the Tranquil Boots, he's got the full Magic Wand available for himself. Most of the time, when Tinies make a rotation, you want to make, like, if he's taking a kill away from the Spectre, you're like, yeah, what are you doing? But it's just such an important timing that you honestly don't mind it, considering the kill wouldn't have happened without his rotation. Don't want to be dying, though, and giving that kill streak over to collapse.
Dire are scanning.
Well, high fives. Really, the only kill threat they have on Team Spirit is going to be the chains into the sky. And well, they have this potential now onto Ori. Storm Spirit's going to step a little bit too far forward with the chains control the damage. Oh, he's got to dodge the arcane. He's got the strength hits. Tokyo, meanwhile, he's going to be in trouble. No, we ran it forward. Oh, Toronto, Tokyo into the TP up, but Bo got the stuns on corner. No way. Toronto, Tokyo gets a gigantic kill and lives to tell the tale.
Little bit of an assist coming there from Baboka. He ended up tossing back the Ember Spirit towards the Storm Spirit, so that that Remnant didn't have quite as far to travel to be able to secure that kill. So a little bit of a yikes. Still, though, Aster having a good start to the game, but can't be making too many of these mistakes against Spirit. You saw what happens if it gets to the late game. Big deal.
Timing. There's a Pichio nearby as well. Aster actually want to take the fight. Monet's going to join the Horn forward, trying to deal with Mira. They will still lose Baboka, however, which is a streak given over. But Monet is able to do the dirty work. So we're 1 for 1, but this is favoring Spirit. Like, yes, Monet gets involved. You'll take whatever gold you can get, but your Toro, he's off on the other side, working towards the Battle Fury. At Toronto, Tokyo is getting some farm as well.
Yep, Battle Fury's 350 gold away. Not terrible. So you want around a 14 or so minute timing.
See, they're smoked up, but smoke's going to pop and we'll be alright.
You got the Wraith Pact on XXS. That's the most important thing. It's just such this huge timing to have to clump around. Even just holding onto the broom handle means it's so much more survivable. Good dive.
Trying to do the collapse for the moment. But Moshka's going to be able to delay this slightly with the Cold Embrace. They have to get into the moment to bring down collapse. The Soul Assumption's not enough, and now the rest of Spirit considering about entering. Hang on, Ori. He's going to see more forward as well, but they don't have the Ember Spirit nearby to be able to prevent this from him escaping. And meanwhile, hang on, the Ember's in trouble. The familiar stuns is enough to hold him back for the moment. Mira doesn't have the control, though, to keep the Storm inside the Mystic Flare. So Ori is safe and sound.
I think if you're going to play this Storm Spirit, honestly, even with one of those steroids that you were talking about, Pugna, Coddle, Io, you got to play it with the Soul Ring these days. It's just so impactful, the amount of deceptive zipping that you're able to do, I guess you could call it, where you're just able to dive super deep, find that extra kill, even be able to use it for escapes, which you've seen all throughout today.
I mean, quite impressed with Ori's performance so far on the Storm. I mean, I feel like we have to kind of expect it, though. He's Grandmaster, like you mentioned, but they have given time, though, for Yatoro to be able to get towards his Battle Fury. He's got it completed now. Be cautious, because this is an item where we could see him just start to make quick ways into that second item, and it's going to be the Sanjin Yashi queued up for Yatoro.
They know that they've got this high ground warded on next to Collapse here, inside of the Dire jungle, though, so it's an area that they know that they can avoid. A lot of supports actually keep track of how many wards should be out on the map at a certain stage. They're constantly checking inventories and seeing if just using like deductive reasoning. This isn't all about, you know, fast clicking zip zap boom bow like these position 1 and 2s. This is what's required to be a pos 5. Not quite so glamorous, but it can provide you with a ton of information.
Call from Aster. Yeah, they're really just at a stage where they want to force a fight. Like, Spirit are doing a good job, split pushing the side lanes, playing deep in their jungle where they have the vision advantage, and Astro daring them, saying, we're strong enough to fight, but do you feel like you can give this Roche away?
I feel like the first one you're alright with. Right? Like, a Troll Warlord still needs to farm. He's not in fighting shape right now. You are behind on net worth. You're against a Spectre that can just join the fight at any stage. And well, they haven't needed to use the Arcane Rune for that either, so they're just going to keep the pressure going while they still have that rune at their disposal. Toronto Tokyo has to be careful about stepping out into this lane, though. Lockdown would need to be perfect.
No one showing
Control
top.
Warlord's actually the one. Look at this Observer Ward in the bot lane.
Way.
No, they saw him in the lane.
He gets the LTL, but it will do nothing. Surround, control, and bring down Yatoro. He's having a good kind of string of minutes being able to find his farm. Unfortunately, that will be put to an end. Third death of the game for the carry-on Spirit.
Tower is under attack.
This is what those unorthodox wards do, though, right? PGL able to lay that one down inside the bottom lane, even just this one to the north side of the Dire mid-tier 2 tower. Not a common spot to D-ward at this stage, which means that you're much more likely to be able to catch out some of the smoke.
Focus a little bit swift from the team. If they can get the kill fast before the rest of Aster show up and instant the horn, along with their zippers, or is going to look to deal with the backline. A quick and clean kill to the Winter Wyvern, and now they'll chain this into another one as well. As Skyrath Mage goes down, along with the life on Collapse. As Aster, yes, you lose Baboka, but you see instantly they have the capability to show up and take that team fight.
Show up, take the team fight, and now you can push as well. Top lane already going to be shoved in a little bit.
Is under attack.
You have to resummon the familiars just to get that little bit of extra damage now that XXS is hit up onto that level 12. Probably going to force a glyph out of them right here. You just can't allow a Visage and his birds to freely hit your tower. More importantly, you're playing on Dire. You need to be playing around this jungle as much as possible,
Dire's
especially
top
considering the
tower is
Battle
under
3
attack.
build on Troll Warlord, but they're respecting the fact that Team Spirit didn't necessarily have to drop quite as many cooldowns to be able to take that last fight. Backing off without the glyph even being used.
And Aster still have decent resources as well to be able to stay out of the map. I mean, Ori was able to find a regen rune, so he's still in fighting shape, looking to try and cut bottom. So now Spirit will not have a lot of the map to play with bottom kind of at an even stage. Aster, they can definitely consider about maybe beating onto the tower if they're looking to take a fight and not Baboka's in. They jump onto the T2 tower. This Razor still without the BKB to protect himself, but he does have the push to maybe to turn this around. The zipping from Ori is enough damage to get the kill, and now he's going to turn his attention over to the Winter Wyvern as well. And he's got a little bit of mana more to play with. The Grave's going to buy some time as well for Ori, but look at Aster just swarming behind the T2 tower. Smoke is even going to jump on the high ground. They are making sure no one will
Full
escape
mana.
as Ori's not
The
done.
prediction.
The team went forward. All that many would ever desire is even going to go past the throne. As Ori, what a performance on the Storm Spirit.
Getting the buyback out of the sky as well. You could tell that Mira was just wanting to get that sneaky little Storm Spirit, thinking he can go 19 minutes into the game past the Ancients, but no. Still had plenty of mana to get right on out. Oh man, they're even getting a Philosopher's Stone.
Hang on, Yatoro's about to run under the ward. They're gonna see him. Or he's gonna haste a little bit of mana to work with as well. Yatoro's close to a tier 1 tower. There are a couple TPs they can play with. Are they gonna come out?
Might lack damage.
When it's nearby, it doesn't seem like they're lacking it for the moment. The ultimate hasn't been popped just yet. Duel, but with the tools, they cancelled the TP. They won't have Collapse to be able to help out. Meanwhile, XXS is dealing with Baboka as well, so they're taking the Wyvern out of the equation. Yatoro goes down. Aster straight away pivoting their attention towards the rest of Spirit under the tower. Not getting any other components though. Oh, hang on, never
Gone
mind.
for more Baboka.
He doesn't know how to start. The toss back, familiar stunt. There's the first. The Haunt as well to give them all the vision they would ever desire to take this team fight under the T2 tower. Toronto, Tokyo. The chains will hold him back for the moment. Make it towards the higher ground. Meanwhile, Baboka though, a curse off to the side. They'll do the dirty work. Mira goes down. Baboka will join him in the afterlife as well. As just Aster are everywhere across the map in the second game.
They're steamrolling over them, and even just with this this Visage as well, the coordination coming through from Aster there, I'm sure the calls going through the comms were Winter's Curse could still turn this around, spread out, and they made sure that they did. Even just XXS microing his birds to perfection once he spotted the Winter Wyvern, making sure that they won't be hitting onto him when he tried to use that defensive curse to get the TP away.
Look, I believe Baboka just saw Yatoro, so they know they're setting up for a defense. Just everyone doing the individual
Radiant's
things
top
right here
tower
from
is under
Aster.
attack.
Perhaps isn't really in shape to join his mid. Can he happen?
The jump, tossing it to the middle. Can he get the ultimate off? He'll have that invulnerability for a little while, but he can't right-click anyone. The battle trend's gonna send him through the pitch for the base, but Ori a zip into the middle. Meanwhile as well, Visage is in a little bit of trouble. He should be able to get the TP out back to base, but PGL will not have the same fate. But it looks like Aster don't give a damn about giving away the Dazzle's life. As Ori wants revenge, but he doesn't have the greatest mana pool to play.
Eventually having to back off. That's always when you're really feeling yourself,
attack.
right? When the only thing stopping you from getting more kills is
Papoka. Is he gonna go for this?
Oh, I think he might. Alright. We've got a bit of a downtime. I'm going to steal something from Sunspan and Syndra. Trivia time! What is the name of the Skywrath Mage shard? You will never get this in a million years.
Well, thanks. I love the confidence in me. I already guessed, so I don't know. What is it?
What did you say?
It's a global shot.
No. Shield of the Scion.
Wait, what? What? Oh.
When I say you're
I-
never
wait,
gonna
hang
get
on.
it, it's for a good reason, brother.
Dude, I thought this shard was just something else.
Well, you learn something every day. That's a talent, dude. The global concussor.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Radiant are
Dude,
scanning.
I just did not
These
remember what
2K
this-
casters, man, they get away with too much.
2K Immortal. Yeah, I know. That's okay. Oh, yeah. Oh. What does this shot even do? A bonus intelligence, a bonus armor. We don't see this game at all. Down 9,000 gold. It's all
Dire's
Asters for
top
the
tower
taking.
is
But
under attack.
Mr. Grenad, we did see what happened in game 1. In Spirit, somehow, you have this kind of
Dire's top
talent to be
tower
able to
is
find their
lost.
way back into games, but this is looking like a really difficult hill to climb.
For sure. Right now, all that everyone seems to be prioritizing is kite. Kite around, make sure we don't get locked down with the searing chains, with the silence and the mystic flare, even the root. You know, you're going for a Lotus Orb on XXS. Obviously, that's going to provide him with the armor from the plate mail. He's actually already got it.
Dire's top tower
Tiny's
is
going
under
for a
attack.
Yule Scepter, so he's going to be able to get out of a lot and even just kite out the Battle Trance. Force Staff coming through from the Dazzle. Storm Spirit doesn't really need too much of it just
bottom
because
tower
he's a
is under
freaking Storm
attack.
Spirit. He's 100 gold away from the BKB. It's a crazy amount of stuff. Manta on the Spectre. No one's getting locked down. This is really all reliant on the Poshka to land like the
Radiant's
perfect
bottom
Winter's
tower
Curses.
is under attack.
It does have some heroes that go in front of him though and make that chaos. The Razor with the BKB, the Troll with almost BKB completed, Ember as well can be a bit of a nuisance as we do see that freshly completed Scepter trying to run into Toronto, Tokyo. So he's got some heroes to maybe make some chaos and have Aster break formation and clump up, but actually, okay, this is important. With the Glimmer Cape on the Poshka, at least you have one defensive item now as well versus the Spectre Horn. So this will protect him to at least maybe get some abilities off. I mean, we've seen
He's
both
holding
the
the
Cold
dust there.
Embrace. Oh, okay, there you go. Well, not help as
There's
much.
that.
Radiant's bottom
That's
tower
a
is
great
under
item.
attack. Dire's middle tower
I
is
just
under
want-
attack.
He's gonna reveal himself with the plasma. Oh, beautiful touchback. Look at the synergy. An instant use of the familiars, but the curse gonna give some time to collapse. To get the BKB along with the static leaf, it's still Ori. Turns it around with the BKB. Meanwhile, with the backline Monet, it's killed off one. They're gonna look for a second as Papoka jumps in, canceling the TP, and XXS will fly in with the damage
Dire's
required to
middle
get the
tower
second
has
kill.
fallen. Radiant's
Feels to me
bottom
like
tower
Spirit just
is
want to
under
take
attack.
a fight once this Troll Warlord has the BKB. Very close to being able to pick it up, and they'll most likely have the Razor back into the game as well. Unluckily for the Aster, obviously you don't want to be going too late again against Spirit, especially the Battlefield Troll, but it's the longest possible road. I'm pretty sure it was 3 minutes on the dot. So, Daddy Gaben, giving them a small chance.
Wait, what?
You heard me.
What's the play going to be from Aster? Just continue
I
to
mean-
choke them?
Oh, Well, what I was thinking, sorry, I'm going to take a Team Spirit perspective for a second here, is I wanted Toronto Tokyo to get his level 18 and then maybe he could go. But it just keeps feeling like, oh, maybe there's just this one extra item and then they could do something. Oh, just one more. Oh, just one more. He needs to create some chaos so that Wyvern's free to cast spells appropriately. It's 8 seconds left on the Winter's Curse. Maposhka still can be the one to turn this game around for him.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Previously, but I believe that
Radiant are scanning.
the Familiars were in stone form, so they didn't actually end up doing any damage. Everyone hitting that outpost, really wanting to get control over here. How's the buyback situation?
They're going to back up to the wards. Or he's going to jump first. They're going to run into the Ember Spirit. A Cold Embrace once again finds some time for the chain control. Toronto Tokyo will not get a BKB or the Remnant off, and now Spirit, they got to get out. You cannot stick around to take the fight.
You might have to.
Oh man, X success! What's his mind throw? A double stun, looking for the resummon as well. Galacto charging to the middle, trying to deal with the dazzle. So they won't have this component. Meanwhile, the Ember Spirit, though, Toronto Tokyo transport back. The Remnant down to the low ground. He's going to be okay. Once again, they're collapsed. He's charging over to XXS, but they just don't have the way to stop him from getting the Aghanim Shard. This is protected for the moment. But as soon as that expires, Yutoro with the BKB can charge on 4, but again, Toronto Tokyo, that's a dieback for the Ember Spirit. Or a Beyond Godlike, they're going to run into Collapse as well. As Aster, they kite the BKBs, they wait for them to expire, and they find an angle back in to find 2 members on Team Spirit.
And this is what happens when they go all in into this, like, hide around, push them around the team fight, makes it difficult for them. It's just so hard to find a single person to lock down. And even though PGL hasn't been able to finish up that 4-star, it eventually was a case where Razor's just trying to go on. Razor has no way to stop him from just shallow grave TPing away. Same sort of thing with the Visage, right? He's got the Aghanim Shard, so he has his own form to protect himself. Could have perhaps got the Lotus Storm off or the Drum of Endurance before he ended up dying, but anyone going to take that Aegis?
They're looking for a kill on the Torrent instead. There's nothing you can do. He'll pop a Rampage, but Warriors coming down with the TPs. Multiple people are coming down with the TPs. With the BKB on cooldown. There's going to be no escape for the carry on Team Spirit. Have they still left the Aegis? They have. Alright. Spectre's going to TP back. And when it's like, make sure
he saw Pichu walking towards her. He's like, yeah.
They're bodyguarding it. Yeah, we're both going along with Pichu. They're like, yeah, no, don't. We'll protect it. We'll make sure we won't take this.
Absolutely taken that if that was my game. I'd be like, bro, they would have taken it.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh. It's not like they have this capability like last game with a potential toss back on the siege to put them into a compromised position. I guess maybe the one thing is that Aster do not siege high ground relatively well.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Like, Spectre is not an Aegis carry that you would like the Terrorblade or Medusa, just to name a few that can lead up the higher ground and do a lot of damage into the objective. So maybe that is one thing that Spirit can look to play with.
What do you mean? They've got Baboka, the pos for Tiny, just whacking these towers with his giant sword. XXS has gone for much more of the damage style of build. Didn't actually go to level 15 talent for the Familiars going the armor corruption. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to run Tokyo. Roman's going to find him again.
Oh my lord!
It's got to that stage where you just can't go out for more than one lane.
Some collapse though. BKB, I don't think he's got the health pool to be able to take you out afterwards. Or a collapse. Gives it beyond goal like straight over to Mr. Ori. 16-2 and 7 on the Storm Spirit. My oh my, he's having such an incredible game on a hero that we do not see often.
And they're going to try and force a little bit more out of them here. Takes the glyph, maybe even a buyback for the Razor. But of course, it's on the back of the Visage. Doesn't quite have the AC just yet, so the siege is going to be a little bit slower. Aegis.
You gotta be careful about showing. Ori's not gonna. He'll take any free food you can get. This guy not respecting the Storm Spirit.
Dazzle as well, that's just able to keep these creeps healed up. Alive.
The toss back. They need to keep him alive. The chain control again is
That's
perfect. Oh no, they've done it time and time again. Just they play so goddamn well around this tiny man. The amount of times the toss back onto the familiars for that chain control or to Ori with the vortex. It's been beautiful. We might see it for another time. Ronto Tokyo not get the BKB off this time to protect it, but instead Ori, he wants to deal with the supports. Ghost Scepter buying some valuable seconds for Mira, but Ori will just turn for the Wyvern instead. What a masterclass performance from someone you would expect. Ori, a well-known player throughout the entire world. We haven't seen him on the main stage for quite some time, but what a treat it is to watch him on the Storm Spirit.
Play like this. Yeah, he's just trying to get every little thing. He's up out of the map, not quite yet level 18. Well, the best he's going to get here is the Aegis flame, but
He might not get it.
Really
Oh, he just got it. There's no way he makes it out, right? Probably 0%. Mira's coming down. Why not join the party? The chain feed Mira is done. The shot to
oh, the Jukes collapse. No way.
What? No, send the tree lane. What? I said no chance. Okay, they're gonna find it.
Oh. Collapse! No, you the plasma field. You revealed your position. You did everything perfect. No, he was fine.
Okay, yep, 100%. He was gonna make it up. Oh god. 1% Denog.
Yeah, that's optimistic.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Hang on, I've seen a 0% comeback recently, so yeah. No one's out of it. We'll wait for the vortex to expire first, due to the chain control, and a BKB is a win in itself. And meanwhile, Monet in this spectre.
Oh, they're both on the roof.
Oh god, who cares about the fountain? They might be up against the both up, but the barracks are falling. They are getting so much more.
They've done it.
Aster.
They've killed the tiny.
Let's go. It's a victory. Come on, what the... It's staying 1%. That's okay. We got the kill. Poshka did.
Where's
Let's
the
go.
old chat?
What? These?
Pos4 diff.
Pos4 difference. Oh god. What are your thoughts on the Spectre here?
God.
Oh, what are we? Oh my god.
Oh, is this a regen? I was expecting the lane to go a lot better for Team Spirit, to be honest. The Razor plus Skyreth lane, that is Spectre should be able to just sit back. They got a kill or two onto the Dazzle, but that's not enough. You needed to make sure that you could shut down this hero a lot more than you did.
Yeah, I really wonder if we're going to see the rise of Spectre in some of the other teams as well, with the meta that we have on these kind of backline saving supports. Out of the count, 85 seconds without a buyback. And Spirit, they're going to have to tuck the tail and get back inside the base to make sure they don't bleed another kill.
Perhaps just trying to get a little bit of extra survivability, allow the Eye of the Storm to go for a little bit longer before it knows. Oh, over here now.
I thought he cheated down the road. I didn't see him. They have a bash or do they get the damage? They do not have a basher onto Monet just yet, but go for the GG push, get the throne down. Team 4 is going to start with that one first. Team Spirit not going to tap out. Rory's going to look to put them into a position where they are forced to plenty of magic damage, and Rory's inside the guardsman. You don't have minutes to play with, and the big G's going to
time.
There we go. The G's are dropped. Aster. They dropped game 1. It was an incredible comeback from Team Spirit. But in the end, though, we will see Aster come out on top. So both the teams still first and second place, and we just are able to see really Aster, if they didn't make maybe a couple of those slight mistakes and Spirit weren't able to come back in that game 1, then it would have been a 2-0 from Aster, and they would be in prime position to potentially, finish out on top of the groups.